What's up, everybody? We are on day 156 of our Bible in a Year series, continuing on in Job, and we have finally gotten to the point, the culmination of everything. We've got today and tomorrow left, but today we are starting with God's response to Job. The Lord responds to Job, and this is what I believe really ties up for me my view on the primary, I think, point of Job is that it's not necessarily, at least the primary focus is not about enduring troubles. It's not about persevere through and God will give you, stuff back or anything like that. I grew up in Pentecostal charismatic circles my entire life, and every single time I heard somebody talk about Job, it was pretty much one of those two. Like, that was all it was ever discussed. I think the primary focus of Job is actually that no one is good except for God. God is the only one who is actually truly good in the true sense of good, true sense of goodness. It is only God, and that is it. So let's jump in. It will be shorter today. Like I said, we have 2 days left, including today. But with how the chapters are, we got 2 chapters today, and we'll have 3 tomorrow. So, yeah, jump straight in. Chapter 38. Then the Lord answered Job from the whirlwind. He said, "Who is this who obscures my counsel with ignorant words?" Ooh, he is um, starting off hot. But honestly, think about this too. How many times have we in our lives had a similar reaction to Job, where we're thinking, if I could only plead my case, like, I'm justified in how I feel. I deserve to be mad, to be upset with what's going on. And if it was recorded for us in our lives in the Bible, we would have a very similar response from God. I think there's a lot of us that would have exactly that. Question 3, or verse 3. Get ready to answer me like a man when I question you. You will inform me. Where were you when I established the earth? Tell me if you have understanding. Who fixed its dimensions? Certainly you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? Who supports its foundations or laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy, who enclosed the sea behind the doors when it burst from the womb? When I made the clouds its garment and total darkness its blanket, when I determined its boundaries and put its bars and doors in place, when I declared you may come this far but no farther, your proud waves stop here. Have you ever in your life commanded the morning or assigned the dawn its place, so it may seize the edges of the earth and shake the wicked out of it? The earth is changed as clay is by a seal. Its hills stand out like the folds of a garment. Light is withheld from the wicked, and the arm raised in violence is broken. Have you traveled to the sources of the sea, or walked in the depths of the ocean? Have the gates of death been revealed to you? Have you seen the gates of deep darkness? Have you comprehended the extent of the earth? Tell me if you know all this. Where is the road to the home of light? Do you know where darkness lives, so you can lead it back to its border? Are you familiar with the paths to its home? Don't you know you were already born? You have lived so long. Have you entered the place where the snow is stored? Or have you seen the storehouses of hail, which I hold in reserve for times of trouble, for the day of warfare and battle? What road leads to the place where light is dispersed? Where is the source of the east wind that spreads across the earth? Who cuts a channel for the flooding rain, or clears the way for lightning, to bring rain on an uninhabited land, on a desert with no human life, to satisfy the parched wasteland and cause the grass to sprout? Does the rain have a father? Who fathered the drops of dew? Whose womb did the ice come from? Who gave birth to the frost of heaven? When water became as hard as stone and the surface of the watery depths is frozen, can you fasten the chains of the Pleiades or loosen the belt of Orion? Can you bring out the constellations in their season and lead the bear and her cubs? Do you know the laws of heaven? Can you impose its authority on earth? Can you command the clouds so that a flood of water covers you? Can you send out lightning bolts and they go? Do they report to you? Here we are. Who put wisdom in the heart or gave the mind understanding? Who has the wisdom to number the clouds, or who can tilt the water jars of heaven? When the dust hardens like the cast metal and the clouds of dirt stick together, can you hunt prey for a lioness or satisfy the appetite of young lions? When they crouch in their dens and lie in wait within their lairs, who provides the raven's food when its young cry out to God and wander about for lack of food? Chapter 39. Do you know when mountain goats give birth? Have you watched the deer in labor? Can you count the months they are pregnant so you can know the time they give birth? They crouch down to give birth to their young. They deliver their newborn. Their offspring are healthy and grow up in the open field. They leave and do not return. Who set the wild donkey free? Who released the swift donkey from its harness? I made the desert its home, and the salty wasteland its dwelling. It scoffs at the noise of the village and never hears the shouts of a driver. It roams the mountains for its pasture land, searching for anything green. Would the wild ox be willing to serve you? Would it spend the night by your feeding trough? Can you hold the wild ox to a furrow by its harness? Will it plow the valleys behind you? Can you depend on it because its strength is great? Would you leave it to do your hard work? Can you trust the wild ox to harvest your grain and bring it to your threshing floor? The wings of the ostrich flap joyfully, but are her feathers and plumage like the stork's? She abandons her eggs on the ground and lets them be warmed in the sand. She forgets that a foot may crush them or that a wild animal may trample them. She tears her young harshly as if they were not her own, with no fear that her labor may have been in vain, for God has deprived her of wisdom. He has not endowed her with understanding. When she proudly spreads her wings, she laughs at the horse and its rider. Do you give strength to the horse? Do you adorn his neck with a mane? Do you make him leap like a locust? His proud snorting fills one with terror. He paws in the valley of rejoice and rejoices in his strength. He charges into battle. He laughs at fear. Since he is afraid of nothing, he does not run from the sword. A quiver rattles at his side, along with a flashing spear and a javelin. He charges ahead with trembling rage. He cannot stand still at the sound of the ram's horn. When the ram's horn blasts, he snorts defiantly. He smells the battle from a distance. He hears the officers' shouts and the battle cry. Does the hawk take flight by your understanding and spread its wings to the south? Does the eagle soar at your command and make its nest on high? It lives on a cliff where it spreads the night. Its stronghold is on a rocky crag. From there it searches for prey. Its eyes penetrate the distance. Its brood gulps down blood. And where the slain are, it is there. Okay. That is it for our reading for today. Again, I know it's a little shorter, but I'm trying to split the chapters up, kind of helping with keeping the flow a little bit better. So, with that, we will get into our questions for today. Question 1. God's questions about creation in chapter 38 highlight his sovereign control. How does this divine response challenge us to reconsider our place in the universe and trust his purposes beyond our understanding? We talked about this yesterday. Understanding, like, God made literally everything. Like, he told the ocean where to stop. He is the one that causes lightning. He's the one that causes hail, thunder, all of that. I heard a story before. No, obviously not a real story, but said, humans, let's say that they finally get the knowledge to create human life, right? They can, like what Genesis says, where man was formed out of the dust of the earth, and so they challenge God. They say, okay, God, we can do what you did. And so God tells them, say, okay, go for it. And so the scientist gets some dirt, he's putting it together, and he's getting ready to do this, and God's like, no, make your own dirt. Um, so it's obviously a stupid little story, but the idea is everything that we can do here, we can only even do because God provided the resources to do it, provided us with um, hands and mobility to be able to move these things around, a brain to be able to think through this stuff, breath so that we could breathe, to do like everything. Like, no matter how you look at it, God is in control of all of it. That should give us a reason to trust Him. Beyond our understanding and everything that's going on in our lives, we should trust Him. Question 2. The detailed descriptions of animals in chapter 39 showcase God's care for even the untamed. How might this care prompt us to reflect on the breadth of His providence, extending to all aspects of life, including our suffering? This is an interesting thing. God doesn't just discard animals, like, they are His creation too, and he likes that creation. Now, they're not the same level as humans. Obviously, man is made in God's image. Animals are not, but there is still something there. It's part of creation. It's something that, excuse me, something to take note of, if you will. Question 3. God's silence on Job's suffering, focusing instead on His majesty. How does this approach invite us to wrestle with the tension between seeking answers and submitting to God's infinite wisdom in moments of pain? I think it's okay to seek answers, as long as while you're seeking answers, you're still submitting to God's wisdom. We've talked about this several times. This has come up, this idea. It's not a one or the other. You can ask questions and also trust God. You can seek answers and still submit to God's infinite wisdom. It's not an either or. It can be both, as long as you're not hyper fixating on. I just hit my mic again. As long as you're not hyper fixating on the problems and what's wrong and what needs fixed, and like we saw with Job, the poor me, pity party type stuff. If you're genuinely trusting God, you can still ask questions. That's not bad. That doesn't mean you're a bad Christian. Nothing like that. So that is it for today. Shorter day. Again, we only had 2 chapters that we read. But appreciate everyone watching and listening up to this point. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I enjoy reading comments, interacting as much as I can in the comment section on the videos and on social media and all that as well too. On YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, X. I think that's it. And then there's the audio version, which is in a few different places: Spotify, Apple Podcasts. There's several others too. I think I have them all in the link tree, so you can see that in the description if you want to listen there. But you can comment in any of those places, and I try to interact as much as I can. And yeah, I'm just limited with schedule and stuff like that. But I hope this is a blessing to you. I hope it's continuing to bless you. I know it's been beneficial for me, adding in extra reading to do and things of that nature. With this, if it's been a blessing to you, share it with somebody else. Word of mouth is the best way the podcast spread. This could be something that helps somebody stick with a daily Bible reading plan. Just giving them an additional resource to stick with a reading is going to be of benefit to them. So if you think that there's somebody else that could benefit from this, feel free to share it. Let them know. They can start with today's video, they could start with day one and go through. I'm doing this in a year, and next year we're going to do it again. So we will be back at it. And before that, though, we'll be back out tomorrow. We'll continue with what God's response is to Job, and then Job's final response to God, and we'll see the conclusion of it all tomorrow with the conclusion of Job before we get into Psalms. It'll be the next book. Be good stuff still. So, thanks. God bless.